I'm Suzanne McRae. I went to Europe in 95, 96 and I discovered the world of costume and fashion and then really moved into self-teaching myself sewing. My past has included a lot of costume parades and theatrical presentations. My business, Asylum 7, it's predominantly costume and corsetry for shops all over the world and through individual customers. I have a little daughter now and I stopped doing everything for a few years. Now my creative focus seems to be moving back into sculpture and ceramics, using a lot of fabrics and costume, but with the ceramic 3D twist. I try to go into it with no idea of the character that's going to pop out at the end. I'll start off with a heavy base. I'll put a really vague wire armature through it. I will have pre-made a lot of calico. I use a lot of coffee dyeing and tea staining, and then cheese gratering and really making it look like it's had another life or dug up out of the dirt. There's been times where I've walked past a skip outside of a house that might be being renovated and it might be full of Victorian wallpaper or pieces of plaster with ancient hessian and horsehair hanging off the side. So the texture and the history and the life of the stuff really speaks to me. I can just pick up a bit of fabric, place it somewhere, see if it works. I will have made the heads and feet and hands separately with air dry clay, and I can take off a head, put on a different head and see just the vibe of the character at the time. And then I'll work on the finishing of ears or hair or hat and all the little accessories. My inspirations and concepts come from a few different areas. I've always been really interested in decrepit glamour, so things that used to be beautiful and gorgeous once, which have been maybe stored away in grandma's attic and moth-eaten and rusted. My great aunt was a furniture upholsterer back in the 1930s, so I inherited lots of old fabric which had been pulled off other chairs and old brocades which had been threadbare and lots of bottoms sat on couches. I'm always so amazingly conscious of the fact that somebody else's hands from 100 years ago have touched that item and pulled a needle and thread through that button, and I feel really connected and grateful and interested in those lives that have had something to do with the objects I use. The life and the history of fabric and things, I really enjoy pulling that into a new character. I think I'm living in completely the right era. I'm just lucky to be living in a time where anything goes, and yet I can still pull in inspiration from every single moment in history. So to me it's a mashup of ancient worn out things and new incredible fashion, which is a really interesting combination that I just love. My creative journey from now on, if I was to do a fashion-based presentation, it would be more of a completely organised, almost film clip type of a thing that I could then push on the rest of the world. I do love what I do. I guess I've always imagined that I would be living on some vast property full of animals, in a menagerie with a big beautiful studio with sections where I could do all my different kind of creative processes. It's a difficult thing to create things to please yourself and be just self-indulgent and love what you do, and also know that you need to please other people if you ever want to move that stuff. It's a tussle between acceptance and doing whatever the hell you want, which is, that's the life fight for everyone, isn't it?